Hello, welcome back to another breaking news update. My name is Jimmy Boyd, and you were watching Boyd News. I want to thank you so much for tuning in today. I'm back with another update coming out from the war between Russia and Ukraine, and I've got lots of news I'd like to share with you today. So today's date is January 20th, 2025, and it's Monday. So welcome back to the channel, and happy Monday to all of you out there. Hope you had a great weekend, and if you're wondering why I was not here yesterday, if you're new to the channel, I am not here on Sundays, so just a friendly reminder letting you know that's why I was not here yesterday. And also, last night I had to update my computer to Windows 11 and move away from Windows 10, so it did reset a lot of settings on my computer. It also messed with my microphone. I had to update a lot of things, and I think I got the microphone back to where it used to be. But if the microphone does not sound right and my voice sounds different, if you guys could please let me know down below so I can tweak it some more. But I believe for the most part it should be back to normal. So I'd kindly appreciate that if you would let me know down in the comment section. So let's go ahead and jump into the news, guys. There's so much to talk about today. We had attacks last night in the city of Kazan in Russia. Ukraine launching a pretty massive drone attack. I think 31 drones were reportedly shot down over the skies of the city of Kazan. This is in the Republic of Tatarstan, about 1,000 kilometers away from the border of Ukraine. Ukraine was trying to target several industrial facilities. They were targeting a helicopter plant near the Boris Oglebsk airfield. There's also an aviation plant there that's in the production or engaged in the production of Tu-22M3 and Tu-160 strategic bombers. So that facility was also reportedly being targeted. And we also have reports of a state government gunpowder plant that was also being attacked by drones. And we do have video footage, like the picture you see here, that shows fires and smoke in the area of the city of Kazan, right around where this Boris Oglebsk military airfield is located. And I can show you guys on a map here in just a little bit where it's at. So we definitely had some major attacks ongoing in Kazan last night. Also inside of Kaluga region, it was being attacked once again. Just over the weekend, we had an oil depot that was hit there. I think it was on Saturday or Friday, somewhere around there. It looks like Kaluga region was being attacked again. I've got video footage of drones in that area. Also, a major attack to report in the Donetsk region of Ukraine, most likely in Russian-controlled territory. There was some sort of drone or missile attack in that area as well. I've got a video of that. And then numerous other things that I want to share with you guys. Lots of news, like things we were sharing over the weekend, like on Friday and Saturday. I've got some updates on some stories that I shared with you guys around that time, okay? So let's go ahead and jump right into this. We're going to hop into Ukrinform over here. This is a mainstream news article just to kind of talk about these industrial facilities that were targeted in Kazan just last night. It says here, Russia's defense industrial facilities in Kazan come under drone attack. This just coming out today, January 20th, 2025. And it says right here, the city of Kazan, which saw a drone attack overnight Monday, is home to several critical military aviation enterprises. This was reported on Telegram by the head of the Center for Countering Disinformation at the National Security and Defense Council of Ukraine, Andriy Kovalenko. According to the official, a series of explosions rocket the city as military facilities were attacked by drones. And it says here, as Kovalenko recalled, a few major aviation enterprises are located in the area, playing a key role in the Russian military-industrial complex. Among them is the SP Gorbanov Kazan aviation plant, engaged in the production of Tu-22M3 and Tu-160 strategic bombers, as well as their modernization and repair. The plant is actively expanding, in particular to maintain these aircraft. Another critical facility is the Kazan helicopter plant, which specializes in the production of helicopters for both military and civilian needs. The city also operates the Kazan state government gunpowder plant, which produces gunpowder and explosives for aviation munitions and missiles such as the Kalibr and Iskander. Those are not the first attacks, but it is becoming increasingly difficult for Russia to protect their sky. The CCD chief wrote, as Ukrinform reported earlier, the Special Operation Forces delivered a precision strike at the Rosneft oil depot in the settlement of Lyud-Denovo, Kaluga region on the night of January 18th. Okay, that's that oil depot I was just telling you guys about in the Kaluga region that got hit over the weekend. And it says here, on the same night, Ukraine's defense forces hit an oil depot in Russia's Tula region, and Russian air defense systems deployed in the temporarily occupied territories of Donetsk and Kherson regions. Okay, so just a little bit of information regarding this attack in Kazan. So now we're going to hop on over to a map, and I'll show you guys exactly where this attack took place. So we'll jump on over here to Google Maps now. So we've got the territory of Ukraine down here. Here's the northeastern border. And then we've got Moscow over here. Here's Russian territory. So way over here, about 1,000 kilometers away from the border of Ukraine, we have the city of Kazan in the Republic of Tatarstan. Okay, so we'll zoom in to the city of Kazan, a very big city that has been attacked multiple times. Even this airfield has been attacked previously. Months back, we actually did a report on that. But on the northern side of the city of Kazan, we have the Boris Oglebsk airfield. Okay, and this airfield has strategic bombers over here. Again, the Tu-22 M3s and the Tu-160s. We can see some of them here on this airfield located here, okay? So the major target, from what I understand, was the industrial facilities that are located nearby here. And I believe this one right here, because it says Gorbunova, I believe this should be one of the major facilities where they manufacture these warplanes, these strategic bombers. So I believe these were attacked. We don't have any official confirmation as of yet if any of these facilities were actually hit. Maybe we'll get that information later, but we do have videos today showing fires in the area of this Boris Oglebsk airfield. Also, we're going to have a report here in just a minute. There's some storage, oil storage here, or fuel storage, excuse me, and one of these tanks took a direct hit. I believe it was empty because it did not explode or anything like that, but we've got a picture showing a direct hit on one of these oil tanks. So multiple facilities were being targeted around here. I'm not sure where the helicopter plant and the gunpowder plant, excuse me, is located at, but I'm pretty sure one of these buildings here, most likely this one, is that aviation plant, okay, and the production of these strategic bombers, okay? So this is kind of the area that was being targeted last night. You can see here there's lots of industrial warehouses and facilities, especially in this area right here. Okay, so major drone attack here last night. At least 31 drones reportedly shot down. And then obviously we had some hits over here as well, because I have some video to show you guys. So again, at the Boris Oglebsk airfield that was being attacked last night, and this aviation plant, there was a helicopter plant and a gunpowder plant that was also reportedly being attacked. So in the city of Kazan, just on the northern side up here, is where the Boris Oglebsk airfield is located. And there you go, guys, roughly about 1,000 kilometers or so away from the border of Ukraine. All right, so let's move on to some updates now on X. We have this report here from DONET. UAV attacks were directed against Russian aircraft factories, in particular one of the largest enterprises of the Russian aviation industry, which produces strategic bombers, was attacked. Local media report that explosions were heard in 4 districts. Against the background of the explosions in Kazan, Russian aviation announced the closure of the local airport, Nizhnekamsk, airports in Tatarstan and Izhevsk, the capital of the Udmurt Republic. Okay, so we got a video here that's going to show not too much sound. I turned it up all the way, but we are going to be able to see some smoke here. You can kind of see some right here as well. Okay, so you'll see like several little columns of smoke and potentially some fires over here. There's lots of, lighting in the background. So take a look at this. All right, so based on this video footage, it looks like we did have some direct impacts over here. We can see some fires that have broke out, at least 2, maybe 3 fires or more in this area. And unfortunately, we got some buildings in the way from where this person was recording, so we're not fully able to see what exactly was hit, but I'm sure we will get some information and some video footage coming out soon, or maybe some satellite imagery showing direct strikes on some of these plants, okay? So also from Nexta, drones attacked aviation industry enterprises in Kazan, Tatarstan. The drones attacked tentatively the Kazan Gorbunov aviation plant, one of the largest enterprises of the Russian aviation industry. It produces Tu-160 strategic bombers. So we got a video here also of somebody that's going to be kind of rushing into a building while some alarms are going off. This is around the time the attack was taking place. Take a look at this. right, so just a quick clip showing some people heading indoors to get out of the range of fire of these drones coming in. Obviously, major attack ongoing at this moment. It's people just kind of taking cover from this attack. So we'll move on to another update now. We got this one here from Tendar. Last night, the city of Kazan, Tatarstan, currently Russia, was attacked by UAVs. Explosions are reported near the Boris Oglebsk airfield and at the Gorbanov aircraft factory. At least one fuel tank was struck. Okay, so we got a few photos we can show you here as well. And a quick video. I think this one's only like 5 seconds long. We'll take a look at this first. And I believe it does not have any sound. But this video is actually, there's a longer extended version of one, which shows the drone. There's a drone kind of going over this building. And then soon after, that's when we see this explosion. But somebody kind of made this video a little bit shorter to watch. But it does show something took a direct hit on the other side of this larger building right here. So we definitely had some explosions over here. But again, the authorities were saying they supposedly shot down all the incoming drones, which, you know, again, we hear that a lot of times from the Russians. They always claim they shoot everything down. And then if there is some sort of fire or something breaks out, it's usually what they report is falling debris. But we all know that falling debris means direct strikes in, in Russian terms, right? So we got a picture here coming up too. So this is a photo that we had for you guys on the waiting screen when you came in, which shows some fires over here in the distance. It's not super clear photo, but we can definitely see that some targets were directly hit over here, okay? Now, here's another photo of the storage tank that supposedly was storing fuel in here for the aviation bombers that are located at the Boris Oglebsk airfield. And this is that little set of tanks. I think there was like 5 of them or so, these fuel tanks. So we did have a direct hit from a drone here, but from what I understand, it was empty. We do have some information here from Astra as well. It says Kazan aviation plant reportedly targeted by Ukrainian drones, say local residents. Residents claim that one of the drones struck an empty tank on the factory's premises. The authenticity of the photos shared online has not yet been confirmed. The press office of Tatarstan's head stated, this morning an attempt was made to attack the republic's industrial facilities using enemy drones. Comprehensive defensive measures were taken. As a result, all drones were neutralized. There were no casualties or damage, okay? So, again, this is what the authorities were reporting. No attacks took place, but we do have some confirmed hits here, okay? And it says it has also been reported that a fragment of an unidentified explosive device, second photo, was found near a residential building on Mozaisky Street in Kazan, where residents are being evacuated, okay? So here's these 2 photos. Here's that storage tank that we do have confirmation. It did take a direct hit, but no fire or anything, because from what we understand, this tank was empty at the time. And then also this photo, what looks like some sort of unexploded device here that landed. I did hear some reports that maybe what this could have been was a Panzer S-1 air defense missile or interceptor that was being fired to try to take down some of these incoming drones, and maybe one of these happened to miss or something and land in a street. So it looks like some of the authorities over here in police were trying to quarantine this area to keep people safe due to this falling interceptor or whatever that might be, some sort of explosive device, okay? Now, for more translated Dmitry, the Kaluga region of Russia has been attacked by UAVs. Local fire teams are attempting to shoot them down. Okay, so also the Kaluga region being attacked last night. I'm not sure what the target was, but we do have reports here in a video of drones incoming to the Kaluga region. Take a look at this.
БПЛА, прикиньте, охуеть, охуеть.
All right, we can see lots of drones heading into the Kaluga region last night, lots of small arms fire as well from the Russian military over here trying to take down these incoming drones. So if I get more information on this attack, I will let you guys know at a later time, but it does look like we had some drones attacking the Kaluga region, which again, this is where we had an oil depot that was destroyed over the weekend. So maybe could have been that same oil depot that was being targeted again. Maybe Ukraine was trying to attack it once more. But again, I'll let you guys know if we get more info on that. Now for Max 24, Donetsk. Okay, so it looks like we had some sort of attack in Donetsk last night. I think Ukraine was launching some sort of attack over here as well. I don't know if it was drones or missiles. These explosions don't sound incredibly loud, so it could have been drones. But we do have a quick video to show you here as well. Take a look at this. All right, so looks like we do have some attacks over here in Donetsk as well. I think this might be the city of Donetsk, which is under Russian control right now. Yeah, looks like something was being targeted over here. I'm not sure if there was a military base or something, but Donetsk being hammered quite a bit. We've shown video footage coming out from here a lot over the past. So if I get info on that as well, I'll let you guys know, okay? Also from Ozen Technical, this morning a fire broke out at the Omsk rubber plant, one of Russia's largest producers of synthetic rubber. Employees could be seen fleeing the site while black smoke rose from a building in the complex. Okay, we got a photo here of this rubber plant in Omsk. Okay, this is far deep into Russia, probably at least 600 kilometers or more. And looks like we had some sort of fire that broke out. I don't know exactly what caused it, but we do have additional information here that OSINT Defender was sharing down below. And it says here local news reports, outlets report, that a process tank exploded at the polypropylene facility. Okay, and he has a report here that says a plant caught fire in the Omsk industrial zone. In Omsk, residents of the Sovetsky district noticed a strong fire and heard the sound of a siren. The Ministry of Emergency Situations of the Omsk region told Garad 55 that the fire occurred at one of the plants. The fire started at 8:57. The department involved 18 employees and 5 units of equipment. As Garad 55 learned, the fire occurred at the Polyam plant. A separate technical tank with a volume of less than 1 M3 caught fire at Polyam and was quickly extinguished. The technological equipment is not affected. The enterprise is operating in normal mode, Garad 55 found out. Okay, so it does look like they were able to get this facility back online in short order, at least according to that report. But yeah, it does look like something exploded over here. I don't know exactly what happened. I thought maybe this was due to a drone attack, because we did have drones entering into Russia last night. But this looks like it happened probably sometime in the morning. You can see the sun is kind of out. So yeah, does look like we had some sort of fire or explosion. Could have even been some sort of sabotage attack. Who knows what happened over here. Now for more Monitor, Russian sources are reporting Ukrainian forces are preparing a large-scale counterattack in the Kursk region of the front line. Before Trump's inauguration, large troop movements have been observed coming into the area of the front line. Okay, this was actually being reported just earlier this morning around 1:30 a.m. You can see here. So roughly about maybe like 8 hours ago at the time that I record this. And yeah, I haven't heard any further updates on whether Ukraine actually launched another offensive. I mean, we heard roughly about a week or two ago that Ukraine did conduct another counteroffensive, like in the northeastern portion of the Kursk offensive right now. But looks like they could be preparing another one. And we did have some indication that this was actually coming. I have some other reports to show you in just a minute coming from Oleksandr Syrsky, the commander of Ukraine's armed forces. Now we have this report also from Rockefeller, NAFO Raccoon. Today is Putin's deadline for retaking Kursk, but instead of that, Makhnovka in the Kursk region came under the control of the armed forces of Ukraine. All right, so this is a new town that was taken over by Ukraine in the Kursk Oblast. So if we were to head up a little bit more northwest up in this direction, that would be the city of Sudza. So Sudza is kind of like the main control hub for the Ukrainians right now. I think that's where they have their main communications hub there, and their kind of control base. So yeah, down here in the southeastern portion, it would have been like a little bit southeast of Sudza is kind of where they took over, and it's this town here called Makhnovka. So it looks like they were able to push the Russians out of this area, and I think the Russians launched an offensive around here not too long ago as well. So it looks like Ukraine was able to regain some territory here. So that's kind of what they're stating here is today was the deadline for the Russians to push Ukraine out. It looks like they have not been able to do that. Ukrainians are still in the Kursk region fighting strong right now, as far as I know. And the deadline has not been reached, okay, by the Russians. They have not been able to remove the Ukrainians. Now from Knoll reports, you can't win a war in defense, says Commander-in-Chief Syrsky. We must leverage our advantages. Ukraine was the first to create drone forces. We're expanding UAV capabilities, developing robotic platforms and ground combat systems, he said in a TV interview. Okay, I do have a clip coming out from this interview in just a little bit that I can show you. Reportedly, this was something he stated too, and the fact that he's saying that you can't win a war in defense, that makes me think that they are going to launch more offensives in the near future. And then the fact that we had that report coming from the Kursk region stating that they're going to launch another counteroffensive, it would make sense because today is Trump's inauguration. Maybe they want to send a message to Donald Trump that they're going to continue fighting in the Kursk region, that they have the capabilities to push forward, whatever it might be, whatever message they feel like they need to send to Trump. But yeah, today is his inauguration. So we might see some big stuff coming out from this war over the next few days as he comes into office now, okay? Now, from NOAA reports, Ukraine is developing its own air defense system, says Commander in Chief Syrskyi. We have the capacity to create it and are already working on it. Our system's aims to rival the Patriot in performance, he said. Okay, this is a very, very big report to me. Okay, we've been reporting a lot recently coming out from Ukraine's military that they're just producing all kinds of weaponry. They've got artillery systems now. They're working on missiles, ballistic missiles, cruise missiles, rocket drones, all kinds of different types of drones, FPV drones. They're even producing, I think, like 90% or more of their own FPV drones. I mean, it's absolutely amazing. While the Russians are not able to take over Ukraine, in the meantime, Ukraine is beefing up their military like crazy, at least in terms of weaponry. Now looks like they could potentially even have their own air defense system pretty soon, which is very big for Ukraine, as that's something they've been complaining about for a very long time, that the West has not been supplying enough air defense for them. So they can produce something equivalent to the Patriot system. That is very good, because that's something they've been calling for a very long time. So I thought that was a very big update today. Now, for more translated Dmitry Syrskyi, in 2024, Russia suffered more losses than in the previous 2 years of the war, over 434,000 personnel, including 150,000 killed. Okay, this was a statement by Oleksandr Syrskyi, the commander of Ukraine's armed forces, in this interview. This is the same interview where a lot of this information that I was showing you guys came from. So go ahead and take a look at this, about a minute long of him talking about Russian losses, okay?
Хочу сказати, що, в принципі, за цей рік бойових дій він втратив більше, ніж за 2 попередніх роки війни. От за 24 рік. Це статистика, це втрати. Ми ведемо облік як вбитих, так і поранених з боку противника. Ну, звичайно, є похибки, але ж вони, я думаю, що вони незначні.
Про втрати. Скільки втрат, скільки противник втратив вбитими і пораненими за 2024 рік?
Загальні втрати, за нашими підрахунками, його склали понад 434 тисячі особового складу. З них приблизно 150 тисяч загиблими.
За рік?
За рік.
Це за 2024 рік?
Да, за 2024 рік. Хочу сказати, що, в принципі, за цей рік бойових дій.
All right, so these are absolutely insane numbers, guys. 434,000 casualties, 150,000 dead. If that happens to be true, I mean, that's absolutely massive losses for the Russian side. You can let me know whether you think those numbers are correct, or maybe they're too high or too low. But one thing I will note is that I guess we could say that the Russians are taking massive losses, whatever the number might be. And the way that I would consider that, or know that, is that on the eastern side of Ukraine this year, they really didn't take a lot of territory. I think they did take something like 1,000 kilometers or more, something like that. It wasn't really anything extreme like it has been in the previous years. So the fact that the Russians have been taking been taking a lot of land inside of Ukraine, and then also think about the Kursk Oblast. Okay, that's been going on for roughly about 5 or 6 months now, and the Russians have not been able to push out Ukraine from that area as well. So that's what makes me think that the Russians are taking massive losses, because otherwise, wouldn't they just be sweeping right through Ukraine? So pretty crazy report coming out today from Oleksandr Syrskyi. Now, also from Nexta, gas in Transnistria will run out in 11 days. Authorities of the unrecognized republic agreed to gas supply from Moldova. At the current rate of consumption, based on existing heat supply to consumers, our gas resource will last for 11 days, said Sergei Oblonik, first deputy prime minister of the unrecognized republic. Tiraspol Transgas has sent a notification to Moldova Gas agreeing to supply gas to Transnistria, where an energy crisis has persisted since the beginning of the year. Since January 1st, following the expiration of the Russian gas transit contract through Ukraine and a debt dispute between Moldova Gas and Gazprom, gas supplies to Transnistria and Moldova have been halted. This has led to an energy crisis in Transnistria. Okay, so we've been talking about this a lot recently. This is a Russian-held territory, a breakaway region in Moldova, right next to Ukraine, just west of Ukraine. And they've been having an energy crisis ever since Ukraine cut off gas over to Eastern Europe. So, yeah, it looks like they're still having issues over there. Looks like they have 11 days to get this sorted out. And we are hearing that they are going to be accepting gas from Moldova, apparently. So I do have a report on that right here. Anton Gerashenko reports leader of the unrecognized Transnistria, Vadim Krasnoselsky. Transnistria agrees to receive gas delivered by Moldovan state company Moldova Gas, excuse me, and is ready to pay for it. Recently, Krasnoselsky flew to Moscow to negotiate the gas deal, after which he said that gas supplies would soon resume as part of humanitarian aid. Afterward, Moldovan Prime Minister Doran Risian said that he had spoken with Krasnoselsky. He emphasized that Moscow had not offered a solution to the natural gas issue and had misled the Transnistrian administration. For weeks, Transnistria refused to accept the offer of Moldova gas. Now it seems after Moscow let them down, they have no other options. The question remains who will pay for the gas supplies. Okay, so yeah, it looks like we are hearing that Transnistria is going to be accepting some gas, some liquefied natural gas from Moldova Gas, which comes from, I believe, directly from Moldova. They offered to help Transnistria in the beginning when they were going through this crisis at the beginning of the year. And in the beginning, they were like, no, we'll just wait for, Russia to help us out. We don't want your help. And then all of a sudden, Moscow's coming out and saying, okay, there's not much we can really do. You're on your own. We're already busy over here fighting inside of Ukraine. So Transnistria is on their own, and now they have no choice but to accept gas from Moldova. Okay, so go ahead and take a look at this. Pretty crazy.
Обращаюсь к руководителю Молдова газа, к иным руководителям Молдовы. Приднестровье согласно и приветствует желание поставки газа со стороны компании «Молдова Газ». Оплату гарантируем. Пожалуйста, исполняйте свои обещания. Обращаюсь к руководителю.
All right, looks like Transnistria has no choice but to accept gas from Moldova. So, it didn't take long for them to have to fold, okay? They don't have electricity over here for the most part, barely any running water, and no heating for gas. It's extremely cold over there. So it was a matter of time before they were going to have to fold and start getting supplies from Moldova directly from the EU, okay? Now from Bliskovka, the SSU and the State Border Guard detained the generals responsible for the unsuccessful defense of the Kyiv region during the occupiers' offensive in 2024. According to the investigation, the officials did not prepare the defense of the border areas of the region and lost control of the battle during the repeated offensive of the racists. I think they're talking about Russia, obviously, right? But they're using an extreme word. In addition, the defendants did not use the entire arsenal of possible measures to repel the aggressor's attack. All right, so I actually remember reporting this months back. This happened when Russia launched some major offensives in the Kyiv region. It appears to be pretty stabilized for the most part, but what we heard was that a lot of generals were starting to be removed from their posts within the Ukrainian military, like immediately after this happened. I think this was back like during the summertime or something around that time. And looks like some of them are being detained now, probably even going to be thrown in jail, who knows, for this debacle over here in the Kyiv region as the Russians just kind of stormed through. And what was being reported at the time that I remember was that there was basically no defenses at all. And they were apparently expecting a major attack from the Russians in the Kyiv region. And then there's obviously the major city of Kyiv that's very important to Ukraine. And you would think they would have better defenses over there, but what was being reported at the time was the Ukrainians were not even ready for this. The defenses were not even prepared. So it looks like a lot of these generals that were involved in the operations in Kyiv are going to be held liable for that, okay? Now from Tendar, even after 4 days, the fire in the Lysky oil depot is still raging. Okay, this is in the Voronezh region of Russia. We talked about this last week, okay, the Lysky oil depot that was hit, and it was still burning, okay, for multiple days now, 4 or 5 days now, still on fire. This was a new photo today. All right, also from Janika Marilo, latest equipment of Russian armed forces of Russia. Your move, West. So take a look at this, guys. These are new photos, and lots of videos been popping up like this on X, and I wanted to show you some of the vehicles that the Russians are having to use. I guess they're having a shortage of vehicles. Probably a lot of them are being destroyed, and we've even heard reports of different regions of Russia where some people are being forced to give up their cars, some even donating them. You can see a lot of old vehicles like this. Here's another one. They're kind of just being makeshifted to be used to transport Russian soldiers to the front lines and deliver supplies and things like that. So you can just see a lot of the old vehicles that they're using here, as they probably don't have any military vehicles or a short supply of them. Also, for military news UA, Ukrainian military writes that Russian Buk and TOR air defense systems were destroyed today in the Zaporizhia direction. All right, so down in the Zaporizhia region, we have reports of more air defense systems being destroyed. Russian Buk and TOR air defense systems. So these are kind of pictures of some of those that were destroyed today. And there's been so many reports that over the last week or two that lots of air defense systems, especially down in like Kherson region, Zaporizhia region, these are in like southern Ukraine, in the Russian-controlled territories. A lot of these being destroyed recently, okay? Many times due to FPV drones. Now for Max 24, Trump has directed his aides to arrange a call with Putin in the days after he's sworn in, with one goal of the conversation to discuss an in-person meeting in the coming months to try to end the war in Ukraine. All right, so we've actually been hearing about this, that Trump was going to be holding a phone call with Putin pretty soon. We're still expecting that, and today he's being inaugurated. He probably won't talk to him today, but maybe in the next few days we will hear of a phone call being arranged between Trump and Putin, and they're going to be discussing this war ending soon, okay? Now for more Monitor, sources close to Trump state his peace plan for Ukraine. Ukraine barred from NATO membership, hostilities frozen along the line of contact, possible deployment of European peacekeeping forces to create a buffer zone. Okay, so we got more information indicating what this peace plan is most likely going to entail between Russia and Ukraine, at least coming from the proposal from the United States. We'll see if that actually gets implemented, but these are some of the key points here, okay? So Ukraine most likely not going to be able to join NATO. We keep hearing that, but who knows? Maybe they will be able to join at a later time. Hostilities frozen, so that demilitarized zone is going to be created on the eastern side of Ukraine, and then a peacekeeping force, most likely the UK, France, maybe some other countries might get involved, and we'll see how they deploy into Ukraine. We talked about some of the different scenarios that could unfold here in terms of European peacekeepers being deployed to Ukraine. They could perform different duties over there. We don't know exactly what's going to happen yet, but these are some of the details that are still being reported regarding the peace plan from Trump. Now for Bliskovka, occupiers are trying to take Pokrovsk in a semi-ring. They are going around the city from the west, reports Viktor Trehubov, spokesman for the Kortitsia military unit. According to him, the Russian troops do not have the resources to break into the city head-on, as they did in other settlements before. It is also known that Russians are trying to cut off the highways and logistics supplies. All right, so this is a picture coming out from Pokrovsk, and we've been talking about this city for a while, so I want to give you another update over here. It looks like the Russians are starting to circle around to the western side of this city. The eastern side is mostly where it's been hit at. This is a city in the Donetsk region of Ukraine. And Ukraine's really trying to hold on to this city. There's been lots of talk of, if they end up losing Pokrovsk, it could completely make the Donetsk region collapse. So the Ukrainians are holding on strong to this city, but it looks like they are starting to wrap around towards the western side, which is where a lot of the roads that lead from central Ukraine over to the city to supply into Pokrovsk for the troops that are over here. So if that ends up getting cut off, that could be very bad for the Ukrainians, okay? So now moving on to Max 24, after a large-scale cyber attack by Russia, the functioning of the unified and state registers of the Ministry of Justice of Ukraine have been restored. Okay, so it looks like we had a large-scale cyber attack on Ukraine that was reported today. So their unified and state registers of the Ministry of Justice of Ukraine apparently was attacked. And don't have too many updates on what really happened regarding this, but it does look like we had some sort of cyber attack happening today. Russia launching an attack on Ukraine, okay? Now we've got an update here from a story that I talked about last week. I think this was Friday or Saturday. This is from Special Kazan Cat. Extremely valuable Russian radar, Nebo SVU, destroyed in Kherson region. Estimated cost of such radar system is about $100 million. Yesterday, on January 18th, 2025, the 1L119 Nebo SVU radar station was attacked in the Kherson region. The radar belonged to one of the units of the 90th Anti-Aircraft Missile Brigade of the 49th OA, Military Unit 54821, Krasnodar region. The attack was carried out using 3 attack UAVs. According to preliminary estimates, the 1L119 Nebo SVU radar station cannot be restored. The diesel power plant DES ED3 X30 T400 1RA 1M6 was also destroyed. So this was in the Kherson region, okay? Again, we reported this. I think it was on Saturday that I showed you guys this information. All we really had at the time was just a photo of one of these these radar units, the Nebo SVU, and it does look like we did have confirmation of this thing being destroyed. I mean, look at these photos here. Just from drone attacks, okay? It looks like several UAV drones were being used to completely demolish this thing. This being very expensive for the Russians, okay? And it looks like it cannot be repaired. It maybe even just burned to the ground and caught on fire, okay? So that's a very big hit. And this is probably multiples down here in the southern region of Ukraine that we've heard being destroyed. I think there was one also in Crimea a little while back that I remember being hit as well by drones, okay? So now moving on to Max 24, Ukrainian air defense shot down 93 out of 141 Shahed UAVs. 37 were suppressed by electronic warfare. 2 UAVs flew back to Russia. 0 out of 1 Iskander-M missile that did not get shot down, okay? So we did have a missile going into Ukraine. I'm not sure where exactly it hit. I did not hear any reports of that, but 141 Shahed drones, that's quite a bit more than normal that we've seen going into Ukraine. Over the last 24 hours, looks like 37 were suppressed by electronic warfare. So Ukraine did take down a good majority of these. We've been seeing that recently. The Ukrainians doing a very good job of destroying a lot of these incoming Shahed drones. So a little update today regarding drones going into Ukraine. Now finally, our last update from the Kyiv Independent. These are the indicative estimates of Russia's combat losses as of January 20th, according to the Armed Forces of Ukraine. All right, final update. Russia's losses as of January 20th being reported by Ukrainian intelligence. 1,690 troops, 42 AFVs, 87 vehicles and fuel tanks, 10 tanks, 19 artillery systems, 153 UAVs, 6 special equipment, and 3 anti-aircraft warfare systems. Okay, so lots of losses being reported today. And something that I want to note is these vehicles and fuel tanks. When I showed you guys some pictures earlier of some of the vehicles that the Russians are using inside the war, and they're starting to use like, motorcycles and just old vehicles. This is probably a major reason why, okay? I mean, look at that, 34,488. It's up to you if you believe these numbers are correct. Maybe they're high, maybe they're low, who really knows? But we do get lots of reports every single day, anywhere from like 100 or more vehicles and fuel tanks being destroyed. So, that could be a major reason why, okay? If a lot of their transport vehicles are being destroyed, well, they have no choice but to use, literally whatever they can find. If it's just people's vehicles from villages that are broke down, they're just finding whatever they can use to get to the front line. So, very interesting news coming out today, guys. Lots of big news, especially in regards to this attack in Kazan. And it's kind of nice, although it's really good for, Ukraine to be destroying all these oil depots, it's nice to be able to talk about something different, at least for me, because I'm the one reporting this. So, today was a big hit with this Kazan industrial facilities that were being attacked, the aviation facility and all that, the helicopter facility. So if we get more information on that, I will definitely let you guys know at a later time. If we do get some confirmed hits over there, I'm sure we'll get some satellite imagery or some more photos or pictures coming out at a later time. So let me know what you think about all these details down below. That's going to be it for today's update. If you got something out of this, please smash that like button. Also, if you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing down below. Hit the notification bell. That way YouTube can notify you. And with that, hope you all have a great day. Everybody take care and God bless. And we'll see you in the next one.